Hey again, Kevin with Derby Coffee Roasters, and man, what a year we just had. Well, I know it's been quite a while since my last update, and sorry for that. Life has been kind of crazy with growing a business that's not your full-time job yet. Things come at you, and it's a little bit more reactionary than it is proactive. So I'm just doing my best to try to grow the business and figure out which direction I want to go, what's working, what's not. But I did want to bring you along for an update and just tell you what a great year we think we had in 2020. 2020 we know is not the most normal year, and it was not the most encouraging year for a lot of folks. But as we saw a lot of businesses going to work at home, many people started to drink coffee at home, which we benefited from that. Roasting coffee and delivering it fresh to people within days, hours is a real big benefit, and people want to support local. And so we saw a pretty good increase in business over 2020. So I want to take you along, just a recap of our year and tell you kind of where we're headed in 2021, at least where we think we're headed. So I'm out here on a Sunday afternoon just roasting some coffee. The weather is dreary, to say the best, but we've had quite a warm December, I would say, and even now into January. Not the most ideal for roasting outside, but again, not a lot of my business is done out here. It's done in a covered facility. It's someone else's roaster. I am renting time on someone else's roaster, and I can output 20 pounds of coffee per batch. So it's really helped grow my business. But I did want to just give you a little update. I'm checking the temperature now. Don't want it to go too hot before I drop my first batch in. Wow. So in March of last year, we launched our website for online sales. And since then, from March 13th till December 31st, we saw about a little over 7,000 gross in sales. And so I had no idea what to expect. To me, I mean, that's pretty awesome, going from doing this as a hobby to turning into a company and providing a solution for people here in the community. People like fresh roasted coffee. And so I was blown away by that. To everyone who supported, thank you for that. It means a lot. It also means that my coffee's not terrible, which is a good thing. That's also helpful feedback. We have been able to get into, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different shops or markets to where we're selling beans, and some of those are even brewing it for customers. So we're poised this next month to get into 2 more stores, I think, barring some conversations I'm going to have in the upcoming weeks. But I'm blown away just by how much the community has really helped us grow. I haven't had to really play salesman a lot, as much as I should be. A lot of this business is coming to my doorstep, so to speak. And friends and family and friends of friends are calling me and saying, hey, you should get your coffee here. And really, that's how I'm seeing the business grow. I'm not having to do a whole lot of door-to-door sales, as it were. The brand is growing, and people are finding out about it, and they want fresh, local coffee. They want to support small business, and I think that's kind of where we are in our society right now. So in a normal year, we would probably do 5 to 6 different events, almost like catering events, to where we would show up in a gym or outside or in a church or anywhere that is kind of like a farmer's market, where you set up a table, you sell beans, and then you would sell hot cups of coffee as well. Well, this year we had an opportunity to use an espresso machine and grinder dedicated to espresso drinks. And we had the opportunity to do 2 events this year. Could have done a lot more, but COVID handcuffed us there. And from going just from batch brew to espresso-based drinks, and not to mention a steep learning curve for espresso. I mean, that's a whole nother video. But we saw sales basically double and triple from those events, to where we would get $300 or $400 maybe on a good day from selling bags of coffee and hot cups of coffee, 12 ounce, to $600 to $700 gross for espresso-based drinks. And we were serving lattes, mochas, peppermint mocha, and people are willing to pay for espresso-based drinks. You know, you see that in Starbucks. They don't really love the coffee a whole lot, but if you add, you know, good enough flavors that mix with over-roasted coffee, people are going to pay $4 or $5 a cup. And so we saw, based upon that evidence, we took the money that we earned in 2020 and we invested in a espresso machine and grinder for the business so that this coming year we can look to do some more events, just because we know that that is going to make the most amount of money the quickest. And so basically I sat down and looked at the numbers and said, this is probably the best way to get where we want to, get a facility of our own, a roaster of our own. This is going to allow us to not only get out in the community and build the brand, provide delicious drinks, but also make the most money in the shortest amount of time so that we can get to the goals that we have. So we decided on the La Marzocco Linea Mini espresso machine and the Anfim Scodi 2 espresso grinder. I won't go into detail about why we chose that. I know that La Marzocco is a trusted name. And then actually the machine that I was borrowing from a friend is a La Marzocco GS3. So this one is a little bit less expensive, but it can still output drinks in the manner that we needed. So I'll throw up some shots of those machines. I haven't even fired it up yet. It's beautiful. Went with all white. So we're excited about offering that to our community this year. And then we're touring around the idea of a mobile cart, either building it or looking into companies like Simple Cart Systems, I think is their name. Really clean finish on the carts, the wood, and the options that they provide you with. And so we're crunching numbers and seeing if we can pull the trigger maybe here in the next month to do that, to get ready for spring events. I've even toyed around with the idea of maybe a trailer. But you know, operating as a small business, every dollar earned goes back into the business. And so like, how can we get out to the people the quickest? And I think the cart solution is probably going to be the next route for us. So I mentioned we were in like 5 different stores. One of those stores is a coffee shop that is a multi-roaster coffee shop that is primarily buying coffee from another local roaster here in the area called Black and White Coffee Roasters, as well as, let's see, they've used Hart Roasters, Hatchet out of Boone, North Carolina, Anchor out of North Wilkesboro, let's see, I mentioned Hart out of Portland, Color out of Colorado, I believe it is. I know I'm missing a few, but basically we were able to, Tim Jones, he's the owner of Liturgy Beverage Company here in Durham, North Carolina. We were able to partner with him, and I gave him the option to choose the coffee, and we worked out a deal to where I would roast the coffee that he chose to his specifications, and had really great success. We saw that coffee basically fly off the shelf. So that alone was really encouraging to be able to get into that type of market where it's like third wave roasters, I'm on the same shelf, and that was huge. It was awesome. Really enjoyed December, seeing the coffee line up along these roasters. So maybe I'll throw up a picture of that as well if I can find one. Another thing I want to talk about is holiday blend. You can call it whatever you want, Christmas blend, holiday blend, something cute to go along with Christmas theme. When you find a good blend that can sell for the holidays, it will sell, I'm telling you. We ordered 200 labels for holiday blend, and I had to order 100 more the week prior to Christmas. And so we've sold over 200 bags of that to either the local stores or the online sales. So definitely, guys, plan on some sort of holiday winter blend because people will buy it as Christmas presents next year. So start planning. What we did basically was did some research, and I wrote down all the recipes on people's websites if they were transparent enough to say, here's what we use, the bean and everything. And basically what I looked for, what I wanted in the cup was chocolate, berries and a little bit of spice. And so I was able to use one of the Huehue Tenango coffees from Guatemala as like 60% of our base to give us that chocolate backbone, with a natural processed Ethiopia to give a little bit of berry. We use about 20%. And then finally, the third coffee, we used a coffee out of Costa Rica that we sourced from Genuine Origin. The process was called Termico, Termico, and it's basically, think anaerobic, but a little bit more funkier. I can't remember the exact specifications, but it was a bean from Costa Rica that the primary taste in it was cinnamon, and it wasn't like overkill cinnamon. It was really subtle, but the coffee was ever evolving from cinnamon to hibiscus to like red berries and a little bit of spice, and it mixed so well when we added like 20% of it to that. People love the coffee and they're like, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. So best word of advice I can give you if you're kind of in my shoes looking to build a business and you want to grow your brand, start planning and release that coffee like in November. I think we did November 1st and it was selling. It sold for 2 straight months. Like we're pushing about 250 bags that we were able to output. So that was one of the really good things we did in 2020. So one thing we are trying to make goals for, one of the things that would be on the goals list would be custom packaging. Right now I'm using like a 12-ounce matte finish white bag with a zipper and a valve, one-way valve. And I'm ordering stickers off of Sticker Mule. One thing I did was kind of make those stickers a little bit larger so that it would take up more of the space, the real estate on the bag. And I like that look a little better. Fold it down the back, put a little sticker on the back. And it just looks a little bit more elegant, the clean finish that we were looking for. But it is costly per bag, and so I am looking into also custom printing. I know there's companies in China. They've already reached out to me. They're like, here's our work. You know, we've done, you know, coffees from Onyx and Sweet Bloom and other things like that. And so they want to show you their repertoire. And the only thing for me as a small business is you have to spend, I think the minimum was like 5,000 bags, which would equate to like $3,600, which is nothing to bat an eye at. You know, it's $3,600. And when you're saving and putting every bit back into your business, that's a lot. But we do think we can get there this year, and we hope to. And so I'm still shopping around and getting the best prices. So stay on the lookout for that. I'm excited about that because that's something that where I want the brand to go to next. All right, so I'm getting ready to roast a couple batches. Ethiopia Aricha, it's a wash processed coffee. It's beautiful, it's delicate, it's delicious. It's one of my favorites. So I just wanted to drop in, say thanks for all the new subscribers. Reach out if you have any questions. I've been really encouraged to see the amount of people kind of in the same boat as me, like asking questions, and it's really humbling to think that I can answer your questions. And so thank you guys so much for your support and just reaching out. It means a lot. Just drop a comment and I would love to reach out. We're one big community together. So cheers everyone.